I was not expecting that whatsoever. Native Red gonna move on. Optic gonna be eliminated early. An unorthodox situation, but Native Red came up clutch when necessary and close it out. But guys, we are not done. Catch your breath, because we're in the winners final right now. FaZe Clan versus Complexity, and we're tied 1-1.
Oh my gosh.
Catch your breath, Tony.
Woo. Optic not able to clutch out that match, and Native Red have knocked Optic out in top 6. Their lowest placing here for season 2 of HCS, and now we're going right back into the winners finals here. Mind you, it's Complexity that pulled off the upset against Optic as well to put them in that position to begin with, and now Complexity for the first time this year getting top 3, having the opportunity to win this matchup and guarantee a spot in the grand finals, guarantee a top 2 placing, which is already in the highest placing right now. But just imagine Complexity in a grand finals. Jerry Jones right now is dancing.
We talked about the change of Collect on this roster. We mentioned multiple times that he was not taken off of Sentinels because of the fact that he's a bad player, or because of the fact he lacked talent, or anything like that. It was just a stylistic deficit that Sentinels had. And you said it best, Tony. It worked out for both sides. Collect feeling the greater part of that right now, starting off this game 14-11. Of FaZe, they're not going to go in without a fight here. Complexity are on a momentum swing that is going to definitely hit the history books. But FaZe are looking to stop them in their tracks.
I've been stocking up on my anime. You know, I've been watching a little bit of One Piece, a little bit of Boruto.
Okay.
Love me some World Trigger. Don't get me started. Some of the greats as well that are out there. But one thing I've learned is that this is what they call the revenge arc. Okay. As of right now, Collect is on it right now. You know, he got dropped for Sentinels and he's not happy. He says, you know what? You're going to drop me. I'm going to join another team and I'm going to make them better than you guys. Or I'm going to make them an absolute demon right now. Is Collect with Monster joining in, reuniting with Cycle, Tusk being one of the better long-range shots in the league. Complexity have found new life, and they're here in the winners finals going toe-to-toe with one of the, not only beating the #1 team in the league, but now going against the #2 in FaZe. And Complexity looking good. 3 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock. Can Complexity pull off back-to-back upsets?
And one of the things I gotta say about Complexity is this is what practicing does. This is what putting in those hours does for you as a group of players. So you always see these names in matchmaking every single day. I'm matching up against everyone on the side of Complexity, and it's not to take anything away from FaZe. It's just that, you know, they're putting in that hard work, and I'm sure FaZe is doing the same. But this is what happens. This is what happens when you just grind it out. You get in that ranked matchmaking, solo queue, whatever, and you make yourself a better player. Complexity doing that, and now they're in a position to potentially, you know, they took out the #1 team. Now they're trying to go for the #2 team, like you said, Tony.
Renegade with that sniper rifle in hands, and you know, I love that face skin. That face skin look good on the sniper.
Nice.
I ain't even gonna lie. But his shots looking out of this world. It looks like he's in outer space. Does Renegade with this sniper. Frosty off a screen is able to take down Collect. Ends up trading out his life to make sure that Psycho is off the map, which allows a FaZe to get another pull. Monster comes off a spawn. Tries to get an off angle on the flag carrier. Frosty not gonna allow that to happen. Anticipates it well, and while these shots go in, it looks like FaZe might have blocked the courtyard spawners, because Complexity get a straight line right through the long haul and stop the flag carrier for just a few seconds.
Oh, great job by Renegade there. His 3 teammates were dead. He still makes that happen. Now going in for a nice cleanup there on a Tusk. FaZe looking really solid at the moment here. Complexity on the back ropes. 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in this game, with FaZe Clan up 1 cap. You know, they're up 2-1. Complexity have to act right now, and Monster has the tool in hand to make that happen.
Rocket hands the Monster. Not gonna waste that rocket, instead taking down Snakebite, and then long range rocket connects onto Frosty from across the map as FaZe end up going 3 down. And before he goes down, he almost was able to repulse that flag onto the green side, no matter what Psycho relays it. But if he would have repulsed that flag before going down, Psycho would have grabbed it and got it right through the green hall.
Yeah, it's a good call, Tony. That repulse comes into factor there very very big, and unfortunately it was not utilized. That's going to be a return for FaZe. But that being said, Complexity does have control of this side of the map. He tries to shoot the nades at his monster, but it's not going to happen. In roll 2, going to stay alive, not going to get the trade on his own. You see FaZe hunkered up in the base right here. The same spot the Snakebite sat in the last time. He tries it again, and it works. They're not aware of him. A big kill on the flag right there.
And it's not flashy, but hey, all you got to do is just hide in that corner. You know what Complexity's ultimate goal is. You know that they want to push up and grab that flag, so the back smack ends up coming in, and now Complexity are really on the clock. You have 21 seconds to now cross that map, get the kills, and once again, FaZe are daring you. FaZe are baiting you into that flag, because the moment you get it, reticles will be trained on you. Another perfect kill, this time for Royal 2, but Snakebite ends up going down as well. Monster able to not only run that flag, but through the drop wall, the cycle drops for him to take as little damage as possible. Frosty and a 1v2 here, but Snakebite coming out of nowhere. Monster takes him down. In order to take down a reptile, you need a beast or a monster, and Monster goes right at him. Monster relaying this flag over toward the needle, gets it across the long haul side, but Renegade, the main Slayer, stops him right in the nick of time.
Yeah, the pie chart. Look at the pie chart at the bottom center of the screen right now. It's about to dissipate. They're not going to have time, and there it is. That was a crazy play by Monster, but FaZe are going to be up 1-0 versus Complexity. Monster tried to time getting his shields back. He looked at the pie chart at the bottom center of the screen, got the pull over, but Renegade with that clutch kill on the long haul side, no one in position. And FaZe stopped Complexity in their tracks to go up 1-0 in the series.
I keep running out of breath, man. These matches just too good. I ain't gonna lie to you. These matches just too good. We've seen Optic get upset not only by Complexity but by Native Red to knock them out of the tournament in 6th place. Now we're seeing Complexity so close. How many? That was 2 captures. One that could have been reposted towards the green side, and then this one right here. Monster Collect work a perfect 2v2 to take down both Snakebite and Frosty. Not easy to do. And then we have Collect buying so much time, but Monster was never able to get that around the corner. Renegade just barely sneaking in that final headshot. Look at
who is this?
There's perfect right there.
There's someone shooting with him too. We didn't give any credit to that player. I believe that was maybe Frosty. Yeah, I mean that was he had to jump up on cuts to get that angle, and he got like 2 shots off of that one jump. But great job by FaZe to close that one out. Like you said, 2 very close caps, Tony. And that's what it comes down to, man. 1 or 2 plays, and Complexity on this crazy high of being just incredible online. And honestly, you talked about it earlier, like, you know, they performed well on LAN as well. It's just about, you know, are they going to be able to convert this type of stuff on the LAN stage? And I mean, they're dominant online. This is dominant right here out of Complexity. But FaZe answer back with a first game of the series. Can they continue as Complexity tries to make this happen in game number 2?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your winners bracket finals. One of these teams are going to advance forward into the grand finals, and one of these teams will end up dropping, have to win one more series in order to meet them or get their revenge. We aren't surprised to see FaZe here in the grand finals, but I will say, Complexity, the number 11 seeded team right now. Technically, if this tournament didn't happen and we ran DreamHack LAN, DreamHack Dallas, Complexity wouldn't be invited.
Wow.
He wouldn't be a part of the top 10 teams, so Complexity needed to show off and show out. They needed to have a huge tournament, and I would say so far they've had just that guaranteed top 3 no matter what happens. Complexity have outplaced Optic so far. No matter what, have outplaced Space Station Gaming, have outplaced Sentinels and Avengers, have Complexity already, and their tournament, their winners bracket life isn't even over yet.
Snipe.
Incredible job by Complexity, but they face another monster on your screen, and that's going to be FaZe. 4 down go Complexity momentarily with the spawns coming out on A and Big Door. And FaZe have a solid hold on the tower side of the map. Frosty, the weapons in his hand, deadly. The sniper and the heat wave as well. He's also got a shroud screen. So a very valuable kill here is Frosty on the top tower. Look at him line that up with confidence. Doesn't get the kill. but now prepare for this overshield. He's only got one shot left in the sniper side and no one in position, so he's not going to utilize that shroud screen because none of his teammates are in position to pull that OS. He's got to hit this shot and he misses it. That's going to be OS for Complexity.
They're also trying to buy enough time with that sniper rifle for the rest of the team to get in position to go after that overshield, but sadly Complexity sent bodies after it, snatch it up, only down by 2 kills. But with this overshield, I would expect them to be able to take the lead here, and that's exactly what they need. But collect the first one to go down for Complexity, courtesy of Frosty and his heat wave. We see Monster trying to capitalize on that damage, but gets the melee onto one, can't stop him from getting backspiked, so overshield is off the map. And what started as a 2-kill game, when they grabbed the overshield, somehow turns to 4 and now 5.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, Monster took a weird route there, basically going towards the plasma pistol that is at the bottom of tower, and that's definitely never where you want to be. FaZe was trying to get that utility on that plasma pistol to be prepared for OS, and unfortunately that OS is not going to play a factor now. 16-11 the score. FaZe continuing to hold this C side of the map, and you see Snakebite. This is the back position that he's been prone to playing with the new change of Renegade. He's sitting on this back B side, and he's just able to support his entire team from there.
Psycho, the first one to push up here. It looks like Monster tried to get his back. World 2 with the pre-fire of this green gun. Psycho wants no part of it, so he's putting out shots at everybody else, but the moment World 2's nearby, he's like, I don't want no part of that green gun. World 2 ends up going down. Psycho and Tusk still working in tandem. Frosty wants this tower side control with the sniper, especially as overshield's coming up. A huge flank, the backspike not going to connect. Psycho somehow staying alive, but ends up going down courtesy of Frosty's BR killing spree being earned. Overshield coming up. FaZe say they want to punish Complexity off his spawn. The overshield's only used to increase your lead, and as of right now, FaZe don't need it to punish Complexity off his spawn. So kill after kill. They're not even setting up for the overshield. They're continuing to put Complexity off of that respawn over and over again. A double kill by Frosty, a double-digit lead by FaZe, and Complexity are in danger of falling 0-2 here in the series.
Oh my goodness, just textbook gameplay here out of FaZe and Frosty. Holding on that tower side every single time that OS comes up, you'll see him transfer over to tower and have the sniper in hand. He's done it 2 times now. The first time, Complexity did get that OS, but no value coming out of it, right? A 20, make that 30-14 game here. FaZe looking extremely dominant, trying to stop the run of Complexity right now.
FaZe have already doubled the score line here of Complexity, and they ain't turning back. Backsmack goes in. Tusk doing everything can to stay alive, and I love that he's able to get that trade onto Raw 2, but every single trade favors a team that has double your score, and as of right now, that is FaZe styling. Putting on what looks like a montage so far here on how to play live fire clinic. Complexity stuck on the A side, looking to break right out toward the green. Easier said than done. Frosty missed the melee, comes right in for the repulse. Not enough. Complexity find that exit out of the A side. They refuse to be spawn trapped for this long, but 35 kills and counting here for FaZe.
Goes without saying, the history generally repeats itself. Slayer is FaZe's best game type. They're ranked first in the league with a 73% win rate. And that's just that goes to show what we see at the bottom center of our screen right now. 35-19. Complexity trying to find an answer right now. This next OS and Sniper are coming up at the 6-minute mark. This is the most important minute mark of the game here for both squads. Who will take control?
A big kill coming out of Collect to slow down FaZe just a bit. Roll 2 now having to turn his attentions and go after Collect. Collect down to 1 shot. Tries to be creative with the movement. Ends up going down, but with that puts Roll 2 in a more disadvantageous position, and the rest of Complexity are able to get involved, get the 2 down, but it feels like it's only a matter of time because you're down by so much. It's not impossible, but man, it's going to take Tusk, this overshield, and this sniper, and a dream for them to come back in this game.
That's a lot of things, Tony. I don't know if Complexity has all those things, but they do have an overshield and a sniper, and they have a Tusk. Will Tusk make a difference here is the question. He can't find Frosty. Frosty's out. Look at the damage. Oh my goodness. Look at the way that FaZe just played that. Putting in massive amounts of damage, also staying alive. You gotta understand, and it's a very easy concept, but some people don't understand it, is the fact that the OS is not going to recharge, right? So all you gotta do is put some shots in, stay alive. That's exactly what FaZe do there. All 4 players eliminating the OS from the game and now continuing to maintain this lead, 44-32.
Well, eventually Complexity did end up going 3 down and end up going 3 down once again, but this time getting a few trades in their favor. So the 45 kill mark does end up being reached. Renegade able to take down Collect with a stray grenade. World 2 now coming in with that sniper. Renegade with the heat wave can't quite take down Monster, but FaZe one squad wipe away from being 1 game away from taking down the red hot Complexity. They have eaten away at this lead just a bit. No longer within that, just back in double digits, I should say here, but FaZe, they just had such a lead, and Complexity, you know, they eventually just run out of steam. There's no shot they're coming back from a 40-24 game, not on FaZe.
I gotta talk about that, Tony, right? I mean, as FaZe looks to close this out, they do that right there. 2-0 is the lead for FaZe, but we gotta talk about the you know, gas in the tank, right? You know, having the energy to go through as much as Complexity has gone through and still have energy to continue on. I mean, these are some top teams that they've faced against, and yeah, they've performed incredibly well, but now they're facing, you know, FaZe, and FaZe being, you know, a roster that can only improve with the addition of Renegade, right? Of course, a 12-year roster with Lethal previous, but now with Renegade on the roster, they can only improve. They can only continue to get better. And you know, Complexity has come to face them, and they're down 2-0 in the series. And what is the answer that they need at this point? Like, do they have gas in the tank is the question.
Well, I will say, as dominant as that win was for FaZe, especially when it comes to the eyeball test, if you look at the scoreboard, you know, there eventually, I want to say it was like 32-16. At one point, it was like 40-24 for FaZe at one point.
Yeah.
But eventually, Complexity did get a hold of that overshield.
Yeah.
Eventually, they did put FaZe 3 down back to back and clawed their way back in the game. And it seemed like they were within striking distance. If they didn't dig themselves such a deep hole,
that's
Complexity would have probably ended this maybe like, you know, 50-48, 50-46 is the fact that they had an abysmal start, which allowed FaZe to look as good as they did. So if I'm Complexity, I'm still feeling somewhat of some momentum, somewhat of some energy. Hey, look, we ate away at that much over towards the end game. Let's just not start off the way we did before, and maybe we can win this game. Maybe win that game number 4, send it to a game 5, and at that point, anything can happen.
That's a really good point. We'll see how Complexity start this game off. Maybe give themselves a little bit of breathing room, but FaZe looking to cut off the circulation here. Rockets in hand, power weapons primed, and Renegade's gonna push aggressively, gets the initial kill. That's gonna open up the map for Frosty to potentially push through, but he's gotta be careful of a player on top C. Look at Complexity, they're doing a really great job of just staying hidden, not to give that information away, but information is taken from Frosty as he gets the first kill and maintains his still control.
The one thing that's going to make FaZe so tough to deal with, and it's going to be that way all year and probably for years to come, is they can slay.
Yeah.
They can slay, they can overslay, like forget objective efficiency. If you're constantly dead, what do you do? Like there's no shot that you can make up for a team that's double slaying. I don't care what the objective is. If my team ends with 100 kills and you have 50 kills, you're not winning. Like just say that if you're getting double slayed. So it's really tough to deal with a team like FaZe and the level of coordination that come with, the level of firepower, and the fact that they're consistently on the black screen no matter what the game type is. Complexity gonna have a tough time. You gotta try to match them. You gotta be scrappier. You gotta really be objective efficient, and even then, it still might not be enough to net you a win.
Frosty, the last player alive, and you see right there, he keeps collecting those shields, and what that does is take Collect out of the play for another 5 seconds. And that 5 seconds is gonna be more than enough for FaZe to put their first hill on the board. Rockets coming up. Complexity has to answer back here with these rockets, but they go down instantly. And once again, 2 down for Complexity. FaZe has the numbers advantage.
And Rockets in the hands of Snakebite, having to trade out his life to take down Collect right there. War 2 down to one shot himself, but still able to grab a hold of the Rockets. There's two members of Complexity. Make that one in the subway side, one in the hill, but Tusk's gonna have to get out and try to get out of dodge. Monster gonna back him up just a bit. War 2 going in for the challenge here, down to one shot. Tusk goes. Monster comes in for the backup. So does Frosty in this 2v2, but both players end up going down. Complexity not having anybody in the subway side. FaZe able to successfully break the setup that Complexity were trying to set up themselves, and now the defense comes in out of FaZe Clan.
And that's one thing that Snakebite, when I talked to him, said that his team was trying to improve, is just trying to get better at breaking those setups. It seems that practice has paid off. The setup broken instantly, and halfway through this second hill is FaZe. As a double kill comes out from Renegade, FaZe looking to close this second hill out, and in quick fashion.
Long range shots coming out of Renegade, holding on to the railing side. Tusk somehow sneaks right in with that Bulldog, taking down Snakebite. Great subway side control. FaZe might end up going 2 down, and that's courtesy of Complexity, and Tusk just bulldozing in with that Bulldog. FaZe might be just a split second away from taking this hill number 2, but Complexity have the advantage right now. FaZe will have to slay out.
Yeah, great routes by FaZe, though. You see, they're pushing on the B Street side. They've got Renegade here. They just collapse together. Collect is in a really prime position, but the teamwork too strong. FaZe looking to close this hill out. 2 dead. This is guaranteed for FaZe as they rotate to the new hill. But it looks like Complexity is already set up. It's going to be on that A side. And now a push needs to come out for FaZe, but they've got to take care of the one player here on that tram side, and that's going to be Cycle. Look at the amount of damage Cycle did right there. He holds off 2 players, and because of that, he's buying his team time to continue to get ticks on the board.
We're now starting to see why FaZe have an 80% win percentage here on King of the Hill on Streets. There's a reason why they win 8 out of 10 times on this map and game type combination. They overwhelm you, man. And it's tough. Finally, Complexity do end up getting slayed out, obviously, and do lose that second hill, but they have a huge advantage here on the A side, and they have to play through it. They have to win this hill, otherwise this game might indefinitely be over at that point. And somehow FaZe are able to break right through the Stalker rifle and all. That's a killing spree being earned here by Raw 2. He's just gonna jump right back in the hill. Meanwhile, the rest of FaZe have to deal with the purple side push out of Complexity. Momentarily, Raw 2 has to hop out, and it almost looked like he went AWOL for a second. I don't know what that was. I feel like he just started seeing ghosts like Snakebite. I'm going after you, bro. Like, what was that?
It looks like he shot him by accident the first time, and then the second time he's like, get out of my way, you know. But you know, FaZe, something I really noticed about FaZe and the difference between them and Complexity is the fact that FaZe are very patient, right? They wait for the break. They go in as a team, they wait for numbers advantage, and then they push in. And because of that, they're able to get that solidified hill time that's, you know, almost guaranteed. The problem is here is that in that situation, as I'm talking about it, Tony, and of course I'm a jinx, they go in separately. They go in staggered as 2. They end up getting taken out. And because of that, Complexity looking to close out this hill with a couple more slays on the side of FaZe. Complexity can do just that, and they'll have their first hill on the board.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, lots of times we often compliment the speed at which FaZe play with, but what oftentimes we don't talk about is the patience and the fact that they win that first individual fight and then they play through that first individual fight. It's hard to play slow when you're constantly in a 4v3 scenario with your opponent, or constantly in a 4v2 scenario. So it feels like they're playing a lot faster than everybody else, but they're just playing their advantages. And then you have to prove that you can slay out and win your individual gunfights and win your team gunfights. And if you can't, if you can't slay out with them, you are going to pay. And that's why FaZe are one of the best teams in the league. This is going to be a 3-0 start here in King of the Hill, and Complexity really are in trouble.
What a beautiful shroud screen there by Snakebite. You see him understand that the push is coming from B. He rotates all the way from that cafe side, gets the shroud screen and utilizes it to stop the vision from top planners. Just beautiful job overall. 3-0 is the lead for FaZe here.
Just one more hill needed, and the worst part is 2 minutes and 18 seconds on the clock. So even if Complexity win this hill, like, do they have time to play Slayer? Like, do they have time to deal with the overwhelming pressure from FaZe? You know, you've talked about it time and time again, and so have I in this tournament. When that hill goes to bottom mid, which is next up,
Yeah.
Oftentimes, the team that has that 3-1 lead will just simply hold on to C control and just zone you out of the hill. So even if Complexity win this hill, like, it's gonna be tough, man.
It is, yeah. Hey, you said it best. It's going to be very tough. And look how dominant FaZe is. Like I said, the patience is the big thing, right? Complexity got that last hill all the way to like 85%. And all FaZe needed was one break, and they stamped their feet in the ground. They have a nice hold, and that's it. They end up getting that hill as well. Like they should not have won that last hill. But well, there it is. 3-0. Complexity are gonna fall down to the elimination bracket. FaZe. We'll wait. We'll wait for the champion that is going to come to face them next. FaZe looking extremely dominant in this series. And, you know, it looks like they've worked on a lot of things that were a problem before. They look extremely strong right now, Tony.
FaZe with the 3-0. Like you said, FaZe looking strong, and against Complexity, who, by the way, were hot themselves. Let's not forget, just in the round before this one, Complexity were the ones to beat out Optic and knock them into that elimination bracket to begin with, for ultimately Native Red to send them home. But Complexity were red hot themselves, and FaZe come in 3-0, and at times, honestly, made it look easy. That game number 1 could have gone either way. But game 2, FaZe controlled, I would say, 80%, if not 90% of that game 2 Slayer. And then, I mean, do I got to tell you that 4-0 is a blowout? I don't think I do. It was a blowout. FaZe obviously earned this win. Complexity will have to win one more series in order to make it to the grand finals. But can we take a second to appreciate, once again, Complexity now have their highest placing so far in this tournament, no matter what happens. Here in the winners finals, if you get knocked out, you're still guaranteed top 3, even if you lose your next matchup. And mind you, they can still go toe-to-toe with the winner of G1 or Native Red. They can still possibly win that matchup and still make it into the grand finals and get their revenge on FaZe. Complexity have their highest placing and still aren't done yet.
That's right, and at such a crucial time, of course, with the points being so important. What a pleasure this was. What a great matchup this was, Tony, and just absolutely love it. And of course, a pleasure casting with you as well. What a great day of casting Halo it has been.